there. My name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find balance between their internal masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. Today's video is probably going to be a little bit more brief than what I usually do because this is something I just want to drop here, plant a seed, and I'll come back later to kind of water and nurture my seed because this is something that is complex. It's very complex. And it's the idea that for a lot of us out there, depending on your life experience, if you've had a lot of bad things happen to you, right? Okay. It's felt like your life has just felt like one struggle after another, and you get off one struggle bus and get on the next struggle bus, right? And it feels like you had all this bad stuff that happened to you, and you are working really hard at reprogramming yourself, at figuring yourself out, of figuring out what you really do want and what you really don't want, and really working hard on closing out old cycles, recreating your sense of self, healing your wounds, all of that, shadow work, all the things. There's one thing that I see said a lot that can actually be very misleading, and we need to get into it for a hot second. And it's the fact that it's not always doing the thing that feels good. Because sometimes the thing that feels good is the very thing that's sabotaging and blocking you from having the thing you actually want, or I should say, receiving the thing you actually want. Let me put this into a point of reference in a real physical sense so you have an idea what I'm saying. I was on the phone with a friend the other day, and I was trying to help her with communication. She had someone come into her life, and she was needing help with talking to this person and really starting from the ground of creating the kind of environment and connection that she really wants to grow and nurture with this person. And so she had come to me looking for advice with communication. And I was working through it with her. And at one point she said, well, I'm going to just say this because this is what feels like would be the thing I would say. And I said, well, how has that worked out for you in the past? Has that created the environment and relationships and connections that you've wanted? No. So then that's probably not the thing to say. It's so easy to get into the idea that if this is how I've always done it, then therefore it feels good to me, it feels natural to me, then this is the thing I'm going to do. We have to be much more present with ourselves and much more intentional, and recognize the fact that what might feel right in this moment, if you don't go deeper behind that door, may not actually be the thing that is right. With myself, I often think of it as I tend to have a struggle with holding the highs, holding the really big high moments of life when, oh my God, something is happening right now that is like epically amazing. And I've always wanted this moment, or to feel this way, or to have this thing happening to me. And oh my God, it's happening, right? A big high moment. And my tendency is that's exactly when I'm going to sabotage it, because it freaks me out, because my life experience has told me that the good things get taken away from you, and you can't trust the good things, and that something bad is always going to end up happening right after you have something amazing that feels really good to you. Something bad is going to happen. And that's been my story that I'm working on overcoming, right? And so what my response that's going to feel like the response when I'm in a really big high moment may not actually be the correct response. Because if I want that high moment to continue, and I actually want more, I want more of those high moments. I want to receive more abundance, because that's all that is. It's abundance. It's when you're feeling the high, you're feeling a level of abundance you haven't previously received before. So how do I hold all this abundance in my being, in my very sensitive being? Or do I get so overwhelmed with receiving all this abundance that I then do something to release this feeling of overwhelm, which then makes the whole kit and caboodle crash and burn. Right? Does that make any sense to anyone? I think this is particularly relevant too when we're talking about relationships or with men, right? If you're learning how to cultivate and create a connection with a man like you've never had before. And I talk about it in the sense of, you can have your 3D high functioning relationship, or you can have your spiritual connection, which is a living, breathing, growing organism all on its own energetically, right? And if you're in that space of creating this magical connection with someone, you're going to have to learn to do things radically differently than you've ever done. And you are going to have to show up in a way you've never had to show up before. And it's going to require a side and essence of you that you haven't yet accessed, because that's why you've never had that connection before, right? Like attracts like. The energetic state you're in is what you're going to attract in, the frequencies and the vibration that you will attract in. So if you know you have this vision of this magical connection, you're going to have to access some magical connection aspect of yourself and bring it forth. And that requires effort. That requires long-term vision. That requires getting rid of the instant gratification parts of you. It's not about the instant gratification, it's about the long-term thinking. I often talk about this as well in the realm of emotional eating. Emotional eating. It's not actually comfort food if 20 minutes later after you eat it, you're beating yourself up about it or feeling guilty about something you ate or drank. Or the next day, beating yourself up, whatever. It's not actually comfort food, is it? No. It's just an instant gratification that we're labeling as comfort, but it's not actually comfort if at some point down the road you're feeling bad about it. Reprogramming your brain and how you respond to things, recognizing your patterns, recognizing, being willing to look back at your life experiences, be honest with yourself. Okay, when I recognize I'm at a particular place now, I've been here in my past before. What do I want to create? Where am I going from here? And what is truly going to help me to slowly, step by step, bridge the gap from here to there? And this takes radical self-responsibility, radical self-acceptance, and radical vulnerability, transparency with yourself. Massive transparency and honesty, being honest with yourself. Texting that guy back how you normally would text a guy in the past may not be the correct response. What is the energetic dynamic you're looking to create? And what is the baby step? It's not about perfection. What is the baby step you can plug in right now that gets you 1% closer to that thing out there? It's going to require a new part of you, a bigger, more expansive part of you, the feminine essence that feels really scary because you're exposing parts of yourselves you probably have never exposed before. Parts of you that if you have kept protected and hidden from previous experiences that have hurt you and wounded you, those are the most beautiful parts of you. You're going to have to learn to put on the table if you're going to create what you want. The feminine goes first. I did a video on that. The feminine goes first. The feminine does not wait. Another one of my videos. Feminine does not wait, and the feminine goes first, which means you're going to have to expose your truth, your vulnerability, your heart, because the heart is the portal of the magic. The heart is the portal of everything you want. The heart. That's where your value is. I'm going to leave this video here today. I really hope this helped. Also, I'm going to reiterate, I said this in my video yesterday. I'm really looking for input from anyone out there who's really been following me and listening to me. I'm looking to create another course that you would do on your own, like a workbook kind of a thing, or a series of videos I can put together for you, for tools, for help, for support, to help you really give you concrete things to plug into your life right now to start creating some really great change, really guide you along the path that you are on. What are you looking for? What are you struggling with that you would love more guidance around? Please let me know. You can drop it in the comments or you can send me an email in the description box below. I always drop a link to my website, my email, and my Instagram. So if you want to share with me privately and not publicly, you can always reach out to me there. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for so much for those of you who've been with me on this journey as I'm building this story, as I'm spreading my message out on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a beautiful day.